Most people go through life and all they talk about is they want to be a millionaire. They talk about the big house that they want. They talk about the fancy car that they want to drive. They talk about the amazing family that they want to have. The big business that they want to own. All these different type of things that they talk about. But most people, they never ever think about the journey. They never enjoy the journey. So because of that, they have anxiety. Because in their mind, they haven't made it to the point that they want to be at a certain point in time. They feel like, well, if I started 5 years later, I should have everything. And when you focus so much on the destination and you don't appreciate the journey and each step that it takes for you to get there, you're going to be consistently stressed out. You see this every single day with people. See, in order for you to become great, you got to be willing to do the tough stuff. You got to be willing to do the dirty work. Most people aren't ready to do that. So they go through life, right? And you're so caught up on fancy things that you can't even appreciate that you have a job. You can't even appreciate that you have a car. You can't even appreciate that you live in a decent home. You're able to eat a decent meal every day because you so caught up on the destination. Think about owning a big home, right? The big home is nice, but the only way you can fully appreciate the big home is if you can appreciate and understand when you were living in old projects. That living arrangement. The things you had to do to survive. Growing up in that trailer park. Trying to find a way to get out of that situation. Then you came up with a plan. And you studied and you studied and you studied. Then you got to a point where you started to master it. And master more and master more. And you kept going and going and going. Till you got to a point where you was ready. See, when you're able to go back to think about what it took for you to get where you are, no one can take their joy away from you. No one can take that sense of peace away from you. So that home, that big home is priceless to you. Because it's not about how much it costs, it's about that journey that you took. Think about the fancy car. You got people that can drive a Mercedes, can drive a Lamborghini, the Ferraris, the Corvettes, right? You can't fully appreciate those cars, fully, until you remember driving that hoopty. You remember driving that bucket. You remember having to put a bungee cord on the hood to keep the hood down. Till you remember you were driving that car and those wheels were bald, had no tread on them, but you were doing what you had to do to get by. When you had to ride the city bus to get to work, to get home every day, till you had to walk 4 or 5 miles to reach your destination. This day and age, you might have to catch an Uber. Appreciate that journey. Never forget the journey, because the journey will push you to greatness. And we get so caught up watching what someone else is doing that we can't even appreciate our own life. You so focused on what they're doing, but your life is amazing. But you can't appreciate it. Why? Because you're so caught up on the destination. someone else's destination most of the time. You're not even focused on your own. You're focused on their destination because they made it big. You feel left out. But this is the thing about life, right? See, in sports, there's one winner. Actually, if I be honest with you, there's not a one winner in sports. Just depending on your thought process. Yeah, you might not want a championship, but you change your whole family tree financially by you making it to the league. You was able to go 4 years of college because of your talent. That's a win. See, just because your success don't look like their success don't mean you're not successful. You're very successful. But when you get past focusing on the destination and start focusing more on the journey, focus on becoming better every single day. Focus on mastering your craft. Every day you should be focused on how can I get better? How can I get better? Is what I'm doing today going to help me get to the next level? You focus on that long enough, guess what's going to happen? You're going to start seeing results. Think about that terrible relationship that you was in. You were with that woman for 5 years, 10 years. She treated you like crap. You was with that guy. You was with for 5 years, 10 years. He didn't love you. He didn't respect you. Right? But you had to go through that to get to the destination to meet the person that was for you. See, when you focus on the journey and understand everything you went through for a reason, it's easy for you once you reach your destination and meet that amazing wife or that amazing husband to love them, to cherish them, to respect them, to be there for them. That's the crazy part about life. Like I say, most people, they spend so much time focusing. All we focus on is the destination. But when you get old in life, right? When you get older and you sit in your rocking chair, right? You're not going to be thinking about the destination. You're going to be talking to your grandkids about the journey. You're going to be talking to your sons, your daughters about the journey. In my day and age, I went through this. I went through that in order for me to get here. Yeah, you see me well off right now, but you don't know how I had to file that bankruptcy. You don't know how I got fired from that job. You don't know how I went through that divorce. You don't know how I had that child support I had to pay. You don't know these different type of things that I went through. So now I'm sharing them with you. So you can now understand, yeah, you see the destination, but understand that was a tough journey that I went through. That's the biggest issue in this day and age, in this society. We live in a society where the younger generation don't understand the journey because it's not their fault. The parents never teach the kids, never tell the kids their journey. So when the kids see a millionaire, right, all they see is the destination. They never get to sit down with that millionaire for that millionaire to tell them, it took me 15 years to get here. It took me 20 years to get here. It took me 25 years to get here. When you see someone that has a huge YouTube platform, they're big on Instagram, they're big on Facebook, right? You see that, oh man, they have big numbers, but you never got to see, hey, this person started at zero. It took them 5 years before it took off. It took them 3 years before it took off. And they kept going and going and they kept learning and learning and learning. That's the key in this world. Learning from your mistakes. See, in order to reach your destination, right, you're going to make mistakes along the way. And when those mistakes are made, right, you learn from those mistakes. But we also live in a society where people don't even want to acknowledge the mistake. So we can't get to our destination because we can't even acknowledge that, hey, this was a mistake. I learned, I developed, I grow from this situation. We just want to, hey, it is what it is. Like, no, we have to address it. We have to figure out what we did wrong in order for us to grow. We don't grow if we just look at life from a perspective of, hey, man, it is what it is. Hey, man, no one messes up. Yeah, we mess up. That's how we learn. That's how we grow. If you ever pay attention, if you ever read any successful man or woman book, anyone, if you ever listen to their story, I promise you, they're going to tell you, if you ask them what mistakes you made, they're going to be able to tell you, I made this mistake. I was wrong. I learned from that. So now I know better. I know now how to get around that issue. But we're in a day and age where everyone is too sensitive. Where we can't even tell each other the truth. We can't even admit when we do wrong. We can't even admit, yo, I made a mistake in this area. I didn't develop in that area. Now, because I have acknowledged that, guess what I can do? I can go back to the drawing board. And now I understand that way don't work. Let's try a different route. See, that's the thing about when you're on your road to your destination and you're going through the journey, right? Your journey usually never a straight path. When you're on your journey, you think you got everything mapped out, and then something happens to change the route. Think about it. You can get on Google Maps, type in your destination. You drive, right? Let's say you got to go somewhere 8-10 hours, right? Some point in time, they say there's a detour, construction site. If you take this route here, you'll get there 15 minutes faster, right? 30 minutes faster. What do you usually do? You change the route. Same way with your life. You have a game plan, right? When things don't go exactly the way you think they should go, what do? You change it. You alter it, right? There's an accident that's happened 10 miles ahead. What do? We can make the mistake and just go ahead and drive straight through the accident and be sitting in traffic for an hour. Or we can say, you know what, let's make a necessary adjustment. Well, we can avoid all that traffic and get there 45 minutes earlier. That's what the journey and the destination is all about. It's all about making mistakes. That's why we can't be too hard on people when they make mistakes, but we got to acknowledge the mistakes. That's how we grow. That's how we develop. That's how we become great. When you find all your greats in any sport, any company, you know what they do? They go back and look at the film. They go back and look at the numbers. If it's a business, we go back and look. In 2022, sales dipped. In 23, they picked up. What happened in 22 that made them dip? So we don't have that issue again 5 years down the road. Let's learn from that year. If you're Patrick Mahomes, you're going to go back and look and say, okay, we played the Bengals in the AFC Championship game a couple years ago. The offense stalled. What did I do wrong? What could I have done differently in order for us to come back and win 2 championships in a row these last 2 years? Michael Jordan, they lost to the Orlando Magic the year he came back from his retirement in, I think, 95. 96, they swept that exact same team. They won all 4 games against that team the next year. What did they do? They went back and looked at the mistakes. But we're in a day and age where we're such cowards, where we're scared to even look at a mistake. We're scared to even look at it and see, yo, maybe I could have done that differently. We're scared to do that. But one thing I know, anyone that's great, that's what makes them great. They challenge themselves. They want to go back and look to figure out what it is. And they have intelligent people in their corner. They hold them accountable. No matter who you name, they have someone that holds them accountable. And that's how they get to their destination. The entire purpose of this video is to get so many people to understand this one thing. The journey is always more important than the destination. Because when you get older, you're going to speak on that journey. Your grandkids going to want to know, what did it take for you to get there? What did you go through? What were the obstacles? When they write books, they don't write books on a destination. They write books on a journey. When they make great movies, they don't make great movies on a destination. They make it on a journey. We want to see what you went through. So enjoy the journey. My name is Sidney Combs, and I'm a young entrepreneur from Shreveport, Louisiana with $1 and a dream. Please comment, like, share, subscribe. Thank you. I'm out.